Hi,
Good morning.
welcome to Kim and Andy Read Urantia. I'm Kim,
I'm Andy.
and we're gonna read from the Urantia book. But first, we're gonna read that one, "Light the Flame" by Andrew Harvey. Okay. So, and this morning we're gonna read something short from Hafiz. Hafiz was a Persian poet who lived from 1315 to 1390 in Iran. Okay, so there you go. Go ahead.
Grant me peace and return, for I am ruined by your leaving. Um,
Right.
Someone painfully acknowledges the absence of the good.
Exactly, because it's broader than just the prophet leaving, returning to God. It's the absence of the sacred in our lives, in our day to day, and in the hearts of some of our brothers and sisters that causes a lot of misery here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. So please return to us. And he has promised to return to us. Jesus has promised to return. So with that here, we'll start on paper 15, the 7 super universes. It ends right there. Okay. All right. Energy and energy control and regulation. So we're on section 8 of paper 15. Okay.
The headquarters spheres of the superuniverses are so constructed that they are able to function as efficient power energy regulators for their various sectors, serving as focal points for the directionalization of energy to their component local universes. They exert a powerful influence over the balance and control of the physical energies circulating through organized space.
Okay. So we're talking about the architectural spheres,
Mm-hmm.
the spheres that are created to manage and administrate, a section of the universe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Further regulative functions are performed by the superuniverse power centers formed by the superuniverse oh, formed by the superuniverse power centers and physical controllers, living and semi-living intelligent entities constituted for this express purpose. These power centers and controllers are difficult of understanding. The lower orders are not volitional. They do not possess will. They do not choose their functions, are very intelligent, but apparently automatic and inherent in their highly specialized organization.
Right. Kind of like robots,
Mhm.
right? So there's, robots are like a machine designed to control like what is the weight of an electron or the charge of, what I mean, little things like that or something. And I don't know, I'm conjecturing again, like I like to do, but that's a kind of idea. So, okay.
The power centers, physical controllers of the superuniverses, assume direction and partial control of the 30 energy systems which comprise the graviton domain. The physical energy circuits administered by the power centers of Urantia require a little over 96 million years,
What? Do it again.
968 million years to complete the encirclement of the superuniverse. Whoa.
Okay. Yeah.
Evolving energy has substance. It has weight, although weight is always relative, depending on revolutionary velocity, mass, and anti-gravity. Mass in matter tends to retard velocity and energy, and the anywhere present velocity of energy represents the initial endowment of velocity minus retardation by mass encountered in transit, plus the regulatory function of the living energy controllers of the superuniverse and the physical influence of nearby highly heated or heavily charged bodies.
Who talks about like that? I know. I know.
Well, we discuss this over coffee all the time.
Isn't that
Wow.
great?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
The universal plan for the maintenance of equilibrium between matter and energy necessitates the everlasting making and unmaking of the lesser material units. The universe power directors have the ability to condense and detain, or to expand and liberate, varying quantities of energy. Given a sufficient duration of retarding influence, gravity would eventually convert all energy into matter, were it not for two factors. First, because of the anti-gravity influences of the energy controllers,
Mm-hmm.
and second, because organized matter tends to disintegrate under certain conditions found in very hot stars and under certain peculiar conditions in space, near highly energized cold bodies of condensed matter.
Okay, so they're keeping the energy, all the energy from turning into matter. So they have to use some things to, otherwise gravity would make it all like it would all come into the black holes and just stay there or something. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Or the universe, you know how it's losing energy because it's expanding so much,
Mhm.
and we worry about things, you know, getting colder and colder until there's no energy and stuff. Okay, so these guys are actively doing stuff to keep that from happening, right? They're doing things um, to keep the universe alive, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
They're using anti-gravity. They're using anti-gravity to cancel out some of that gravity where they need to cancel it out.
Mm.
So they're doing stuff, Andy.
So there's an intelligence behind everything, even though sometimes it doesn't seem like it's working.
It seems like, but that's only because we think in small
local.
terms, right? In too local, and this is a messed up world. It's true. This is a messed up world, but they're letting that play out for the sake of our
Urantia.
growth. Yeah, Urantia is. Yeah, they've never left us. They're here. Yeah.
When mass becomes over exaggerated and threatens to unbalance energy, to deplete the physical power circuits, the physical controllers intervene unless gravity's own further tendency to overmaterialize energy is defeated by the occurrence of a collision among the dead giants of space, thus in an instant completely dissipating the universe, the cumulative collections of gravity.
Right.
In these collisional episodes, enormous masses of matter are suddenly converted into the rarest form of energy, and the struggle for universal equilibrium is begun anew.
I love that. So it's like here there's this here isolated, dark, cold, you know, here. And I'm thinking of that it's kind of like a person too, right? So here these energy controllers come along and here say, okay, we're gonna mess with that. We're gonna send another thing over there and crash into that. So it's like a person, right? It's dark, cold, gloomy, just and then I'm gonna send something, and then they meet that some person that totally shakes up their world, and all of a sudden their energies are coming together and things are emerging and right,
And a star is born.
and a star is born, right?
Right. Eventually, the larger physical systems become stabilized, become physically settled, and are swung into the balanced and established circuits of the superuniverses. Subsequent to this event, no more collisions or other devastating catastrophes will occur in such established systems. During the times of plus energy, there are power disturbances and heat fluctuations accompanied by electrical manifestations. During the times of minus energy, there are increased tendencies for matter to aggregate and condense, and to get out of control in the more delicately balanced circuits, with resultant tidal or collisional adjustments which quickly restore the balance between circulating energy, and more literally, stabilize matter. To forecast and otherwise to understand such likely behavior of the blazing suns and the dark islands of space is one of the tasks of the celestial star observers.
So there's all these titles of all these different kind of classes of beings that are assigned to doing this or that or the other thing,
Mm-hmm.
and there's so many of them. There's the celestial star observer. What's your job? So everybody's got a job in heaven,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you want me to go or do you want to?
Why don't you take
Okay, I'll go because, yeah, you're kind of hogging it today. All right. Okay. We are able to recognize most of the laws governing universe equilibrium and to predict much pertaining to universe stability. Practically, our forecasts are reliable, but we are always confronted by certain forces which are not wholly amenable to the laws of energy control and matter behavior known to us. Okay, so there's rogue matter or something that just doesn't um, pay attention to the physical laws they are trying to. So, because you think of these physical laws as an absolute thing,
Mm-hmm.
but just like we don't, some people are like, oh well, we don't need to pay attention to that law. Okay, so this matter or this energy matter is kind of like that,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
They kind of resist like it has a will or something. I don't know. I'm just going
Mhm.
off again. Okay. All right. Okay. The predictability of all physical phenomena becomes increasingly difficult as we proceed outward in the universes from paradise. Right. Because paradise, everything's cool, everything's not, predictable, but it gets less predictable as you go on. As we pass beyond the borders of the personal administration of the paradise rulers, we are confronted with increasing inability to reckon in accordance with the standards established and the experience acquired in connection with observations having exclusively to do with the physical phenomena of the nearby astronomic systems. Even in the realms of the super universes, we are living in the midst of force actions and energy reactions which pervade all our domains and extend in unified equilibrium on through all regions of outer space. Okay, so not everything is totally predictable or totally in their control, whatever, but they can have an over influence on stuff. Okay, the farther out we go, the more certainly we encounter those variational and unpredictable phenomena which are so unerringly characteristic of the unfathomable presence performances of the absolutes and the experiential deities. Aha, right. And these phenomenons must be indicative of some universal over control of all things. Okay, so when we talk about here, like um, the Trinity, the Father, Son, and the Spirit in paradise here, they have reflected outward. They're kind of like shadow is that those absolute, that
Mhm.
God the absolute, God the ultimate, and God the supreme,
Mhm.
right? And those are the unpredictable experiential deities, right?
Mhm.
So they're out there doing stuff.
Hmm.
But those guys are kind of like the shadow reflections of the other. That's just something that occurred to me just now.
Okay.
See what I mean?
Mhm.
Because those are the evolving deities.
Mm. Mhm.
So those three have cast their selves in a reflection out here so that they can experience becoming.
Mhm.
Right?
Right.
Okay. The super universe of Orvanton is apparently now running down. The outer universes seem to be winding up for unparalleled future activities. The central Habona universe is eternally stabilized. Gravity and absence of heat, cold, organize and hold matter together. Heat and anti-gravity disrupt matter and dissipate energy. The living power directors and force organizers are the secret of the special control and intelligent direction of the endless metamorphoses of universe making, unmaking, and remaking. Nebulae may disperse, suns burn out, systems vanish, and planets perish, but the universes do not run down. It says that Orvanton is apparently now running down. So it's apparently now like dissipating or something.
Orvanton is our
It's the super universe.
super
Super
universe.
universe.
One of 7.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But of course that's an illusion here. Maybe that's what they think when they think it's spreading out too much. So it's apparently that it's doing that, but really this stuff is part of a cycle itself
Mhm.
that is managed here, even though it's unpredictable out there. I think in terms of like a super universe, they'll do stuff. They're doing
What
stuff.
are we to do with and planets perish? Like
Well, like you said,
someday Urantia will be
swallowed by the sun. And that's to them, I mean, that's amazing, right?
Mhm.
But to them that's like a small thing.
Mm.
And when you're talking about here these huge super universes and everything, they're thinking about bigger stuff. They're thinking about like out beyond the super universes, there's stuff going on, and we want to see you speculate on some real estate out on that front here, you know?
So would the answer be I'm trying to speculate on the perishing of Urantia? Would the comeback be, well, I sent you Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. Why aren't you out there beyond your perishing planet?
Well, this gets into all this stuff here about the time space continuums, and it doesn't really talk about that directly, but it kind of alludes to there's different time space continuums. And just because if a planet perishes in one continuum, that doesn't mean it's altogether vanquished, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so I think as long as there are spirits here and soul potential
Mhm.
here, then they're interested in this place here.
Mhm.
As long as there's people here who have the potential to become godlike, right?
Mhm.
To
Mhm.
grow, as long as we exhibit that,
Mhm.
okay, then they're gonna help us. Then they're gonna be interested in this place, right? It might be conceivable though that there might be some souls here or potential souls that might benefit spiritually from going through something like the destruction of a planet.
Hmm.
Okay, that might be something, but that doesn't mean that the planet is totally not preserved because it's reflected in other space-time continuums. Okay,
Mhm.
so there will be a space where Urantia is perfected here. So I always think of a tree that grows straight here, but then it's got all these branches that go on the outside, and the one that's going to be preserved is the one that's in the middle,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And then the other ones will have to be pruned eventually here when their soul potential is extinguished, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So in the perfected form, I think our planet is destined to survive, or really our human race is destined to survive. Okay.
Mhm.
and this one existence that seems so compelling to us,
Mhm.
it's like, oh my gosh, I don't want to die. I want to, be preserved, and we're worried about preserving ourselves. And um, it's just one little aspect of the totality of our existence. Because right now, you as a entity exist in many space-time continuums, in different possible Andes, right?
Mhm.
And all of them are you.
Mhm.
All of those beings are performing some kind of essential function to your overall spiritual growth. Okay.
Mhm.
So they're gaining some knowledge or something here. And I think of them as like organs in your body.
Mm.
Okay. So you have
Mhm.
this larger self
Mhm.
that you yourself aren't really aware of. Okay. Right. The ones we experience, where our experience happens, is in like the part that I'm aware of right now. Yeah, it's like, why isn't my energy focused on, why can't I be experiencing what those other people are experiencing? Why do I have to, but
We
well,
can only know that that's happening.
yeah,
We can only know that our soul is larger than we thought.
right. I think when I think about that body, this is what came to me, that um our experience comes from the outside. So it's like the ecto self, right? The outside layer of your being, like your skin, right? Okay.
Mhm.
Or your eyes, your sensory parts,
Mhm.
sensory organs. That's where your experience centers are, what comes in.
Mhm.
Okay. And when you think about that reality tree, the outside of it is what needs pruning, right?
Mhm.
So we're experience is centered on the outside, or the worst possible experience.
Mm.
That's kind of where we, because that might be able to recover some soul potential. But there's parts of me that are functioning, like your heart and your lungs and your essential functions, that you don't really center on. Your experience doesn't center on just your heart and your lungs. That's why we do meditation, is to key
Mhm.
into that experience.
Mhm.
And plus, I think those experiences come to us in dreams here, that our alternative selves are having these experiences, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, what time is it? We have to get going.
We have to get going. We're going to have to leave it there.
We have to go. So it's really exciting stuff. I know I don't understand. People don't understand me when I talk about this kind of stuff, um, but yeah, they don't understand me when I talk about this stuff. It's okay. But it's like your inner self. Your inner self is part of that perfected self, but we don't center on that perfected experience. We center. Our experience. Our mind is in that what's not perfected. See? Okay, anyway. All right, I know that's such, why do you have to talk like that? Okay, all right, we have to go. Okay, love you guys. Thank you very much.
Have a great day.
Okay, bye.
Bye bye.